Hello folks. Well, I was waiting to do a video because my allergies are such to where I'm having voice problems. But if I decided to wait until my voice cleared up, it'd probably be November before I'd be able to do a video. So just gonna have to suck it up and do it. This is a political video, and it's based on my opinion, which I can guarantee that YouTube does not agree with. Of course, I'm probably going to also post this on Rumble, so just in case YouTube tries to take it down. Anyway, it's about this election, the election of 2024 for President of the United States. I believe in recent history there's been no presidential election more important than this one. I mean, yeah, we said that like the last time and the time before that, but really, and I'll talk about the candidates, of course, for a minute. Donald Trump, the mainstream media, which is aligning itself with the radical left, they, of course, are trying to project Donald Trump as being, this evil dictator type who's never gonna, once he gets in office, he'll refuse to leave and he'll take over our lives. And the thing of it is, depending on how short Americans' memories are, he was already in office once, and he was not a dictator then. And as I recall, I wasn't broke all the time when he was in office. Now I'm living paycheck to paycheck, having to take retirement money out to supplement what I've got in order to pay the bills so that we can keep this roof over our heads. When he was in office, we had plenty of money. And so that's the truth of the matter. We had low unemployment. They also portray him as a racist, which he's not. I guess he even dated some black woman for a while. I didn't find that out till recently. If he really hated blacks, I don't think he'd be dating a black woman, This is all just gaslighting by the mainstream media. Now, the other candidate, who was Joe Biden, who he had stepped down, is now Kamala Harris, or Kamala Harris, or whatever. It doesn't matter how you pronounce it, they'll call you racist. But anyway, she, who is almost as bad as Joe Biden at putting a bunch of sentences together for different reasons. In my opinion, she is just doesn't have the capabilities to sit in a big chair and make those big decisions. She just don't. And considering how her word salad sounds every time she tries to make a speech, it amazes me that she could have even been a litigator, because she was a prosecutor in California. Well, California, there you go, at one time. And of course, it's pretty common knowledge the true way that she ascended to that position. I'm not going to go into it. You can look it up. But she really doesn't have the ability to pull that job off, President of the United States, and to do it well. It would probably be more of the same of what we've had for the last 4 years under Biden, which is increased inflation, food prices going up, wages, the power of your wages going down. If that's what Americans want, then vote that way. Go ahead, be an idiot. But she is definitely not the one to choose. Anyway, she wouldn't be doing it anyway. It would be whoever would be pulling her strings. Another puppet for the deep state. That's pretty much it. She can't make big decisions like that on her own. Look what a bang-up job she did at the border as border czar. And yes, she was border czar. I don't care what the media says, in my opinion. She was put in charge of the border. That makes her the border czar. and she did probably the worst possible job that you could possibly do. And now the mainstream media is trying to gaslight everyone massively, treating her like she's a new fresh face, she was never Borders czar, and she's a new person that we should look into selecting. Well, she's not a new person. And she talks about how concerned she is about everything. Oh, concerned about the cost of groceries. And, well, she wants to improve the lives if she gets in office. Well, guess what? She's already in office. And she's not doing it now. She's not fixing the economy now while she has a chance. So why would I believe that she would fix it if she was selected as president? I realize the vice president job normally doesn't do a lot in the presidential things. But apparently Biden wasn't doing the big decisions. It wasn't him. In my opinion, it was probably Obama pulling the strings, running a third term, which is against the Constitution. And it would be him again, and whoever else behind him in the deep state. So, if you want more of that, go ahead. See, this vote for this election is more about what political system we want for this country than it is the actual candidates. If you want a political system, a representative republic, which is what we've had for over 200 years, using the Constitution, which when things go wrong, go back to the Constitution, things will be right. And that's the problem, we've gotten away from that. But if you want a representative republic, yeah, you can call it a democracy, but it's more of a representative republic, because a true democracy completely would be everyone votes for everything. There wouldn't be electoral votes. We wouldn't have representatives representing us. It would be just the people doing all the voting all the time. Problem with that is places like where I live, rural places, would not be well represented. The cities would have the majority. And from what I've seen in the cities, they've turned into a bunch of radical left-leaning lunatics, in my opinion. Not every person that lives in the city, but in general, that's where they're leaning. I don't want that. So if you want the American system based on the Constitution, vote for Donald Trump. It's clear. If you want communism, where the government makes every decision for you, decides everything that you eat, everything you do, what jobs you have, and yes, they promise to give you things at first. Promise to give you housing, this, that, and the other. Free this, free that. Well, where do you think that money's going to come from? People like me who actually have a job, who are paying taxes. It's exorbitant taxes, high taxes. Higher than they were, I believe, when we fought England for independence. So a revolution is overdue, but not from their side. You know what I mean? So if you want communism, where every part of your life is dictated, and you better not say anything bad about the government, or you'll be thrown in a gulag, maybe executed. If you want that kind of system, vote for Kamala Harris. It's as simple as that. No matter how much they gaslight you, that's what it is. And I hope to hell that more Americans are going to wake up. I know there's some of them out there that are a lost cause. They think Donald Trump is some demon and they're going to vote against him no matter how much it wrecks the country. So for those people like that, I would say this. If Kamala wins, you deserve exactly what you get. And someone like me, they'd probably just execute me because I'm too old to be retrainable. I'm a veteran. That's a double whammy there because they don't like veterans under the communist system. Oh, and by the way, I remember when, Biden's still technically president, although where is he? You don't see him anywhere. He hardly ever appears. He said something a while back about, well, if the citizens wanted to revolt, they'd need F-15s, which in essence he's saying the military is going to back the government. Are you sure? You think the people in the military want to fire on their own families? You think? I kind of doubt it. The police, they can go either way. The thing about the police, though, is if the deep state has something on them, then they're going to blackmail them into doing their bidding, unfortunately. That's pretty much how it works. So there's three main factors of what motivates people to do the things they do. Money, sex, and power. And for people like George Soros, I seriously doubt the sex thing matters anymore. And he's got gobs of money, so it's all about power with him. They get all this money and then they get bored and they want to manipulate countries. Let's play Risk, for real. Anyway, this is turning into a bit of a rant. But I need to... Oh yeah, the Trump assassination attempt. I wanted to talk about that for a minute. Who would benefit from that? Obviously the Democrats would. But then again, he would fall into martyrism too. A lot of people would have been really mad if Trump would have died. But I found something interesting. From my understanding is that there were certain investors that had invested in the Trump stock that were short selling it. And if Trump had died, the stock would have collapsed and they would have made a lot of money. George Soros, from what I understand, was one of those investors. And also, I heard George Bush was. I used to think he was a good guy years ago, but I've wised up since then. And there's been several investors, all deep state people mostly. It just makes me sick that they would invest in something like that, hoping that Trump would die. A lot of people call it a miracle he lived, and I can see why. If he turned his head, if he hadn't turned his head at that exact second, he would have been dead. But that whole thing stinks. The whole assassination attempt stinks. They tried to JFK him, and they failed. They'll probably try again. If it was me, if I was Donald Trump, I would hire mercenaries. I would hire additional people besides Secret Service. Because obviously, Secret Service is not doing their job. Inside job, who knows? They're never going to tell us. Just like with JFK. It's like an onion. Each layer you peel, there's another layer under it, covering up the layer beneath that. Ooh, that's my profound saying. I think I rival Kamala Harris for her wisdom.